I wrote down what I wanted to ask you. It's, again, the being. I see that in practicing the being, I also let others be too. I understand when it comes to letting the adults be. I also see that babies and kids naturally are being. And they don't even have to put any effort like we do. My question comes from external when I'm playing the role of mom. And when I want to discipline or correct my kid, am I stealing away his being?
No. At least not necessarily. Because I say not necessarily because it's necessary to discipline a child. It's sometimes necessary to correct a child, but not always. It's sometimes also important to let a child make a mistake and not to correct them.
Okay.
So don't be principled. Don't think I shouldn't discipline my child or I shouldn't correct my child. Sometimes it's appropriate to discipline a child or to correct them. Sometimes it's not. It's better to leave them free and to let them make their own mistake and to learn from it. So no. But in principle, by disciplining or correcting your child, you are not necessarily, as you say, stealing their being or yeah, you understand.
Yes, I did. I do sense that thin line of where I need to intrude and not. Right.
Yes.
I mean, I think I got what you told. Yes, there needs to be correction. It depends on the instances or the context. Is that right? Where I might have to and might not just leave it.
Yes. Yes, you always want to see your child or your children as they essentially are, and that's what you want to be always magnifying.
Yeah.
And its innate qualities, its peace, its joy, its freedom, it's interconnected. So that's what you want to be emphasizing. You want to be continually giving them a taste of their true nature, not in an abstract way, not infinite being, but peace, joy, freedom, love, beauty. You want to be nurturing those experiences because that will be like a blueprint in your child. It'll know from its early. How old are your children?
He turns 6 today.
Okay, yeah. Perfect. So he always wants to have known in his childhood what peace is, what freedom is, what joy is. That's the most important thing for you. But you also have to, and you have to. Sometimes that requires leaving the child free, but also sometimes it requires providing some restraints. And that's your sensitivity. It depends on your child. And I was brought up I had a bohemian mother who didn't know the meaning of discipline or rules. Or she took my brother and I to Reading Pop Festival. When we were 12 and 13, found an old hippie, asked him to teach us how to make roll-ups, and then left us there for the weekend. Well, that was my mother on one side of the spectrum. My father was a real disciplinarian, and he was very, needless to say, they just married long enough to have 4 children and then separated. So I had kind of both these, but my father was, he was strict, and then I spent 10 years in English boarding schools, which are also strict. So with my son, I as many of us do, we go to the other extreme. So I was very liberal with him. And if I look back, if anything, I think I was a little bit too liberal.
Okay.
I wouldn't have changed very much, but I can see a couple of times when I think, no, that was not really serving him, to give him that much free. He could have done with a little bit more boundary then.
Okay. I think.
So you have to make sure, first of all, that what you're doing is not in reaction to the way you were brought up. You don't want to, because otherwise the way you are is just, it comes out of reaction. You have to weigh up. You have this there's nothing you want for your son more than joy, freedom, love, peace, and then you have to just find the right balance between supporting that freedom, letting him make his mistakes, but also providing a boundary for him where appropriate. And it changes all the time as your child grows. You could never think, okay, I've got it, because I don't need to tell you that your child changes, and when he gets home, he's going to be a different boy. When he gets, when he's going to have changed. So you have to continually adjust as you go along.